This is a short one like me. Dudes with Brews on the Porch presents Michael Brews.
Dude. Hey everyone, we got a good interview coming up on the show. This is Drew. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's Thanksgiving in the world of America, so happy Thanksgiving. We talked to Stephanie Baird today from Basic Beat Productions. We're talking about her new short film, Baby Making 101, which is amazing. I really liked it. It's really well written, really well acted, really well produced, and I encourage everybody to watch it. Just wanted to quickly note, so during our conversation, you will hear a dog whining a little bit, and it's, that happens sometimes. Dogs whine. I tried my best to get the whine out of the audio. Some places it's okay. Some places you're definitely going to hear the dog, but I still think the conversation is worth listening to. It is a shorter episode. So, if you can bear with it, that's much appreciated. Otherwise, I would just tell you, hey, listen or watch the show, watch their Baby Making 101, enjoy it. She was a really fun person to chat with, and I think you will enjoy kind of the message and kind of everything that happened in that short film. It's like 17 minutes long, and it's really cool. So, but stick around if you will, and listen to me and Stephanie and her dog a little bit. So, usually it's my dogs. So we got to be sympathetic to our furry friends. They need love. They need attention. And, sometimes they need treats. It's, that's just the way the world works. And much like having a kid, which we discussed a little bit, random stuff happens. So I hope you enjoy the talk. And we look forward to getting Rob back in the swing of things coming up. I think him and I are kicking it soon. Outside of that, life is busy. Okay, see you later. Brews and Casual Conversations. Joined with us today on the show, Stephanie Baird from Basic Beat Productions. She's also talking about her latest short film, Baby Making 101. Stephanie, thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Drew.
Absolutely. It's so we talked a little bit. It's Thanksgiving here in America, and I did know Canada had Thanksgiving in October. But is it, from what you know, is it similar to how it goes in America?
I think so. You eat a lot.
Yeah.
Spend time with family.
Yeah.
Wear sweatpants.
Yeah, absolutely. Sweatpants are a necessary
staple.
Yeah. The only reason I know it, Thanksgiving in Canada is in October because one time a guy I was working with, he's like, "Oh yeah, getting ready for Thanksgiving," and I was just like, "What are you talking about? It's only October." And then I looked on the calendar. I was like, "Oh, in Canada." And I was like, "So that's
it is." Yeah. I'm just gonna grab my dog for 1 second.
Yeah,
He's
no worries.
For interrupting my anything. Okay, sorry about that.
Hey, no worries. I actually have I have two dogs too. They're right by my side. Hopefully they don't get too crazy. They're eating some peanut butter, so we should be good to go.
Nice.
So I watched Baby Making 101. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It did. I really liked it. First of all, it was really well written, really well acted, well produced. So it was great. I really did enjoy it. The first, I don't want to give away too much of it, but I guess kind of what was your writing process, and how did you come up with this idea? And is this something that you've gone through, or is it something that you kind of experienced with a friend or something like that?
Yeah, for sure. It started with a log line. I have this notebook that I write down just random lines of ideas that I come up with throughout the day. And
nice.
It was just actually maybe let me think about what the actual log line is and if this is giving too much away. But it was basically pregnancy scare makes someone reevaluate their decision. So I wrote, it was more well written than that. However, I don't want to give away the film.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Oh my goodness, my doggy. That's kind of how it started, and I didn't really know how to make it. I just knew that I wanted to explore this idea because it's kind of something that I've not necessarily been trying to have children yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the fence on whether or not I want to have children. And I guess it was kind of an envision of, what it might be for me if I was to start trying to have kids, and what roller coasters would I go through.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 2 kids and I'm going on 3. My wife is pregnant. And so when I sent you the email saying like, I can kind of relate to some of these things, not all of it obviously, but definitely the parts with like tracking the ovulation, and it's like, oh, here's the date, today's the day, and then like, that day I'm like, oh, I'm feeling a little bloated, so but gotta get to work, I guess. And it just it really I think it did a great job for couples who are in that process, really keeping track of cycles and all this stuff. That was really all my wife. She's very good at it. There's apps on the phone, and it's just like it just really reminded me of that process, because my wife found out pretty much the first day you could find out that she was pregnant. She knew. I think it was actually maybe the day before. She's like, oh, tomorrow I'm supposed to have the missed period, but we're going to try it today with this test. And it was positive. And I was like, oh, crazy. So it really kind of just rung a bell with me, which I thought was amazing. And it's super relatable with pregnancy and stuff like that. Another thing that I found that I could relate to was like having the conversation about, oh, are you trying for kids? Are you trying and stuff like that? And I don't think a lot of people are aware of kind of how strange of a question that is, especially, or at least it made me like super uncomfortable with family members. They're just like, oh, when are you going to get her pregnant? It's just like, quit telling me to bang your daughter, dude. Like we'll take care of it when the time is right.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting, and that's kind of something that I wanted to explore. So sorry, my dog is.
You're all good. No, you're
deciding
all good.
that today is the day that he wants to have a podcast. So yeah, I wanted to explore that because it is such a strange concept to have complete strangers like ask you these personal questions. Like I remember one time, not to get into too much medical detail, but I was having like a test done.
Sure.
And a lady was like, can I ask you a personal question? And I was like, I mean, you have tools in my private area, so sure, and she's like, well, why haven't you had kids yet? And I was like, wait, what? Like, this is a conversation that we're having right now. So, and that was kind of, a spark of some of those conversations that I had in, when they go into the pharmacy, where it's just like, these people that aren't really in their lives, like, and yeah, you're right. Like even parents, it's like, okay, so Kate, stop. Parents are just, asking the same thing. And it's like, it's a kind of a personal thing. Like,
right.
And it gets a little casual sometimes.
Yeah. And it, for me, for sure, it just really got me uncomfortable with it. And finally I was able to be, shut them all up and say, hey, she's pregnant. Okay, stop it. No more questions. But now it's all like, oh, how she's feeling and everything like that. And even people, like when I put the ultrasound picture on my desk at work, it's not a lot of people knew. I'm kind of new to my job, and I just plopped it on there. And then I get these text messages from a coworker, and she's just like, who I've known for 2 months, and she's just blowing me up. I'm like, oh, this. And I was like, hey, just know I'm having a kid. Like, it's all right. Like, it's and it's a wild ride, and I really think the short did an excellent job of that process, because and it's okay to evaluate life and stuff like the decisions that you've made. Even if you've committed to a decision, it's human to think of all the options to really evaluate, can I do this? Do I want to do this? Like, babies are great. Don't get me wrong. I love hanging out with a baby every once in a while, but there's times where it's just like, oh man, why did I do this? And so I think it's good to really think about it and reflect on what you do.
For sure. And I think it is two-sided. Everyone always thinks about, anyone who's not going through it, it's just like, oh, why don't you just have a kid? And it's like, well, there's a lot more to it than just having a kid, right? Like, you have to give up like parts of your lives for that, and there's a period of your life where you can literally do nothing else but make sure this baby stays alive, right? So there's a lot to think about. And I think sometimes, people have different priorities nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. With so with your writing, you come up with the lines and everything, which I think is really awesome. How did you go about? Did you have certain actors in mind? Because the people you had did your lead was great, and everyone there, I was just like, this is really amazing. And I did you know these people already, or did you kind of just do your standard audition process, or how'd that go?
Yeah, so the way that we did the format of the film, like we couldn't audition. It's like we worked with ACTRA Toronto, which is like our union.
Oh, sure.
And so you actually, through the process that we did, you can't actually audition. So everyone that I cast in that short I already knew. And every single one of them I'd worked with before. So yeah, I kind of just like imagined the people that I just closed my eyes, and kind of like the first person that popped in my head, I was like, do I think this person could do this role? And I mean, Tamara Almeida, who's the lead female, is such a strong, honest, hardworking actress. And I just knew that she would do the role justice. Like, she's got the heart. She's got the brain, like she's very like a well-rounded performer. And same with Fuad. He's also very much a very big heart, big brain kind of actor. And those are the kinds of characters that we were playing with here, right? People who had big hearts and also big brains. So
yeah. So with your script, was it very was a room for the actors to kind of improvise and play the delivery of different lines, or did you was it kind of like, this is my idea going this way, as a director, how do you kind of like to work?
Yeah, I'm very collaborative. I mean, obviously you have to have a vision. Obviously you have to have like a bigger picture in mind. And you have to have that kind of like those character arcs and sort of thing. But if an actor's like, like Tamara, she's like, can I replace one of the fruit with something that's a little bit more Spanish? And I was like, totally.
Sure.
So, just like little nuances like that. There's a montage in the film, which I won't give away too much, but it's kind of fun. And all of those lines were improvised. We just kind of like, we just sat down and we're like, okay, so this time you're late for brunch with your friends, or this time you're doing, a quick meeting at lunchtime, like off of work. And so like, we just kind of gave them these little scenarios, and then they just kind of hit it out of the park, and then we just cut the best parts out of it. And yeah, so I would say there's a little bit of both.
Yeah. Awesome. So with your production company, Basic Beef Productions, I looked into it a little bit, and it seems like a really good, a really cool kind of focus. It's kind of like not female driven content, but female like leads and a lot of like writers and collaboration and things like that. So tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah. So I called it Basic Beef because I found that like a lot of the time, and this is not to go with everyone, I've worked with some really amazing people, but sometimes in the industry, like women writers or women directors are kind of considered basic, and that they don't like have, like they don't have kind of like that expanded view of, filmmaking, and they make safe choices and that sort of thing. So that's where the name comes from. And as far as the content that I make, yeah, I mean, it's female derived in that, it's not strictly female stories. Right. But it's from most of them are from the female perspective. And I like to tackle tough, like I think that's like on my website it says tackling tough sorry, I lost it. Ideas, I guess. Sure. Like tough topics. There it is. Tough topics with comedy, and light humor. So like that's a big part of what I feel like. I feel like you're more likely to get a hold of someone by making them kind of like smile or giggle, as opposed to hitting them off the top with whatever subject it is. And then the last thing is a focus on diversity. So trying to tell those stories and bring in people with different voices who might have a different perspective than I do, and allowing them to bring that perspective into the work as well.
Yeah, and I think that's really important and a really cool thing. You know, I'm not an actor or a creator in the, you know, the visual world, but so I just, to me, it's just so crazy that it's 2021 and you know, like you said, like a lot of these actors and writers are considered like basic, and it's just like, give me a break. Like if anything, like we want more perspective from everybody, and it's crazy that we're still sometimes stuck in the past, and it's wild.
Sure.
So I give you a lot of credit for doing it, and I think you're onto a good path, and you've done an amazing job so far.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. So what other Basic Beat productions are available, and or do you have anything coming up? I know I don't know how old Baby Making 101 is, I guess, but is there anything? Is there another idea you got brewing up? Then maybe some pre-production stuff, or are you taking a break and just letting the baby making ride?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, baby making is a pandemic baby.
Okay.
Conceived during the pandemic. We filmed it just before the pandemic hit, and then we kind of finished it up as the pandemic was going on. So it's a pandemic baby, and you know, it was kind of hard to promote it for a little while because there wasn't really anything happening to do that, and so yeah, you can watch that on PopternativeTV and on YouTube. And as far as what else I've done, I don't know. I did this little cute little pandemic project with some friends. It's not groundbreaking by any means. It was just a joke on the toilet paper shortage of 2020 hashtag. And so that, I think that's on YouTube as well. But as far as what's coming up, yeah, I have some stuff in my brain. I try not to force my, oh my gosh, my dog is relentless.
That's all good.
I try not to force my my creative too much. I try to let it come a little bit more organically.
Sure.
I work in film and television for my like day job as well. So between that and this, you know, I keep my hands busy.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's I mean, that's awesome. You gotta always focus on the work too. Like, you know, I work full time. I do radio a little bit. Like I'm just your local on air kind of douchebag. But that's just incredibly part-time, and then I do this. So I definitely understand. You know, sometimes you just you need that break, and you don't want to, if it's forced, and then there's a good chance that it's not going to be pure, and it's not going to be the product like Baby Making 101 is. So yeah, I think that's important. And I think that's something a lot of people need to think about too, is like, hey, you know, take a break, let your brain kind of stew a little bit, and then and let the work happen, you know, or not organically, but when you're ready.
Yeah, for sure. And that's not to say that anything's wrong with people who do that, but I'm more like I would rather do smaller projects. I would rather do like less projects that I'm really passionate about, as opposed to just churning out a bunch of content, which either way is great, and either way works for a lot of people. So that's just kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Stephanie, I can let you go. I know your dog seems to be wanting some love. And
he wants snacks. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's just snacks.
I always it's funny because usually it's like when I'm interviewing something or somebody, it's always my dogs that are going. They just go. They're 1 and 2, so they're pretty young yet, and they're just full of energy. And I'm always worried. I'm like, please don't start barking or growling. Usually one will like hop on the couch, and then you'll just gradually see his head come into frame. It's like a little creeper. But so yeah, I know I totally get all the dog stuff. It's they're, you know, much like babies. They're they're very much a part of your life and your routine. And you know, my dogs are up. They're ready to go 5:30 every morning. If we're lucky, 5:30. Otherwise, it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and it's like, give me a break. But you know, they got needs.
It's true. He's definitely given me a lesson in powerlessness. So gotta let it slide off the back a little bit. I mean, of course, now he's super chill, but he's geriatric. He is 16 and a half
Oh,
years
wow.
old.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a good age. He's lived a good life.
He's basically the old man yelling at cloud meme. So
Yeah, get off the lawn, and all that kind of stuff. So
all that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Stephanie, I really appreciate you coming on. And where can people follow you, and where can they get the Basic Beat production content and Baby Making 101 on Alternative TV on YouTube, which you said? I'll link that in the bio or in the show notes. But where can they get more of you?
For sure. So you can find me on Instagram or Facebook, Stephanie A. Baird. And also Basic B Productions on both Facebook and Instagram. I also have a website, stephaniebaird.com and basicbproductions.com. So
awesome. Well,
all the places you can find me.
Yep, that's where you should be, I guess, on all the socials. So Stephanie, thanks again. I really enjoyed the film, and I look forward to everything you got going on in the future.
Thank you so much.
Pew pew audio. Goodbye, everyone.